Aloha nui kākou, o Maunakea o ka hoʻokahi kanuha. E kū ana I ke anu, o ka puʻuhonua o puʻuhuluhulu, I ka makani e hae mai ana. Here on day 17, e puʻuhonua o puʻuhuluhulu, here to give our daily updates. First update is that we want to reiterate what we said yesterday, that we are aware of the 2 incoming storms, and we are tracking and monitoring them very, very closely. We have information coming to us by the hour, and as new information comes in, we act and plan accordingly. We do have plans in place, and we are implementing them as we speak. And if necessary, we are willing and ready to evacuate this area to ensure the safety of all of the people here at Puʻuhonua o Puʻuhuluhulu. Secondly, I want to clarify some misinformation that is spreading throughout the media in regards to access of Maunakea. Now, telescope technicians have had access to Maunakea from the very beginning. About 2 or 2.5 weeks ago, the Maunakea observatories made a decision voluntarily and preemptively to remove their people from the Mauna. Now, because of that decision that they made on their own accord, they reached a time where the telescopes were kind of in a critical situation, and they needed to work on them immediately. When we were approached, we have worked with each and every one of those telescopes, and they've had access every time that they've approached us. And so the Gemini went up, Subaru went up. At that point, we made an agreement with those who are in charge here to provide them unobstructed access in exchange for us having access of 1 vehicle a day. Now, it's important to note that those who work on Mauna Kea do not have rights to access that area and that Mauna that is constitutionally protected. But we, the native people of this place, do have that right. Our rights are protected in the Constitution to access our sacred places for cultural and religious practices. And this is codified in the Hawaii Constitution, Article 12, Section 7. However, since Sunday morning, we have had an agreement that those telescopes, when they need to operate, when they need to maintain and perform maintenance on their telescopes, they will have access. And again, in return, we, the people who have rights that are constitutionally protected, are allowed 1 single vehicle a day. And so we want to bring clarity to that nobody is being blocked off of the Mauna in regards to telescope maintenance. We have also allowed the access of water trucks whenever they need to go up. We have also allowed the access of hale pohaku workers. We have also allowed the access of the Maunakea Rangers. And so the only thing that we are doing here is preventing the access of the TMT vehicles and machines, as we know that their plan is to move up the Mauna and to desecrate our Mauna so that they can build their 30-meter telescope. So we want to bring clarity to that. Third update is we want to respond in a sense to the reason why TMT is able to move the Mauna. The state and the TMT board continue to use the terminology that they have the legal right to proceed. Now, legal does not always make it right. Okay, so as an example, like I mentioned the other day, there was a time where slavery was legal. I think that we could all agree that that never made it right. There was also a time where women didn't have the ability to vote. I would hope that we could all agree that that never made it right. Another example, here in Hawaii, there was a time, a long time, where our own language, Olelo Hawaii, was illegal in the schools. That never made it right. And it was through actions like this that got those things overturned and changed so that those legalities could eventually become pono and become right. So this idea that just because it's legal does not make it right and does not make it moral. Now, the logic behind this legality and this decision to give them the legal right is a logic that really, really needs to be questioned, not just for those of us who stand in protection of Mauna Kea, but for all people in Hawaii. The Supreme Court ruled that TMT had the legal right to proceed because their project would not cause adverse substantial harm to Mauna Kea. However, the reason behind that, the reason that they came to this conclusion, was because Mauna Kea has been so damaged already that 1 more telescope wouldn't make that much more of a difference. And so to bring this into perspective, what they are saying is that the Alawai Canal has been so polluted and so much sewage has already spilled into that canal that there's no need to protect it. There's no need to ensure that that does not happen again. Kaho'olawe has been bombed for years and years, and because of that, why stop the bombing? The Pacific Garbage Patch is the size of Texas, so why try to protect the ocean? These are ideas that should raise concerns with every single person in Hawaii and really every single person around the world. Now, another mana'o on this is that there is a petition right now that has been signed by over 900 people, and this petition was started by a group of astronomers, many of them who are attached to the universities and the programs that are attached to the TMT. And in this petition, they use the language that I'll quote them, we have an ethical duty to put the rights of the people ahead of our science. Otherwise, our science is unethical. And so we see here that the people are taking a stand. We are saying that we do not consent to the desecration of our Aina and our Mauna, and therefore scientists have an ethical duty, a moral duty to look into that and to make a decision, again, that's not just legal, but that's right. And so I want to call upon, again, Mayor Harry Kim, who has been put in charge of this operation by the governor. The mayor prides himself on standing with the people. He prides himself on his reputation of walking with the people of his place and his community. And so I call upon him and I ask humbly and with aloha that this is the perfect time to show that and to demonstrate your willingness and your commitment to stand with the people and to stand with us rather than protecting the rights of foreign investors and foreign corporations when we know that their wishes go against the will of the people of this place. So I call upon Mayor Harry Kim to stand with us the way you have claimed to stand with your people for the many years that you have served your community. Now, we also want to give an update for tomorrow. Tomorrow is July 31st. On July 31st, 1843, the first Hawaiian Kingdom national holiday was established, and this holiday is called La Ho'iho'i'ea, the ending of British occupation in Hawaii. And so we call upon all of our people, all of our supporters, all of our lahui to join us here at Pu'uhonua o Pu'uhuluhulu for a La Ho'iho'i'ea celebration. We'll have music, we'll have hula, we'll have speakers and workshops. And it's a time for us to come together and celebrate our history, our sovereignty that we know has never been relinquished, and to get together and just use this time to lift up our spirits and gather. And lastly, we want to call out to all of our people to remain vigilant. We know that it's been quiet up here and no actions have been attempted and nothing has been moved towards us in regards to law enforcement and machinery. However, we're asking everybody to remain vigilant because we know that anything could happen at any time. We are aware that the governor is holding a press conference today at 1:30, and we're hopeful that he will bring clarity to their plans in regards to calling upon the National Guard or not calling upon the National Guard to come here and use force against peaceful, non-violent protesters. And so with that being said, that's our updates for today. Mahalo nui.